best in the Premier League. Only Pochettino at Spurs matched Frank's longevity among the top 10 overperformers, which is really interesting.
Pochettino at Spurs. That just goes to show how good he was. People overlook that because they look at his, he had Kane, he had this and that. But if you look at wages, I didn't realise it was that good in terms of wages.
And like another Poch at Southampton as well, when he was finishing 7th, must have been up there.
Yeah, 100%. So, but Frank's also like top of the league all the time, isn't he?
Yeah.
In that, but this is wild. So this graph is actually, I thought this was just this season, probably. No, it's all time, is it?
In the last decade.
In the last decade, because you got Bielsa's there. Hertzler's second, is he? That's surprising.
Bielsa's up there. De Zerbi, Ranieri, Koeman, Glasner, Poch,
Nuno, Wolves and for Forest.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very impressive.
Daniel Levy probably had that graph up in his
he's up in his
bedroom or something. You know what I mean? Kiz10 says that Frank has my full support, but I don't think I can get attached to another manager again. Of course you can, mate. You're going to get attached over again.
It's time.
Steve Singh says, what a crazy stat. Thomas Frank has not spent a single day in the relegation zone during his 4 years at Brentford. What a remarkable achievement. And yeah, when you're looking at now, last 2 seasons, the 3 teams that have got promoted have gone back down. Brentford with the resources that they're dealing with. It is pretty mad. Not one day since they've been promoted.
Never really been in a relegation fight. I know they finished 16th 2 years ago, but still, they're never really in danger, were they?
Yeah. Thomas Frank after Tottenham's first pre-season.
Honestly, Tottenham does that to everyone.
I swear, Ange Postecoglou aged about 10 years as well in the Spurs job.
I swear Mourinho was turned grey as soon as he came to Tottenham, honestly.
Laffy says, not one comment of Thomas Frank retiring from trophies. We owe Ange everything. That's because he's never won a trophy to retire from them.
That's also true. But that's fair comment. But also, the trophy, you can't say the trophy thing at Tottenham anymore.
Yeah. They'll say that about Arsenal now. If they sack Arteta this year, and they get a new manager in, they'll be saying, "Yeah, this guy's not going there to win trophies, is he?" I love it how the trophy narrative has just completely switched to Arsenal now.
It's brilliant. WeAre Trophy. Oh, it's the best. It hits so good.
That guy's jokes. Thomas Frank after losing 5-0 in his first Champions League game.
God, gonna get
doing Frank dirty here with these.
Proper.
Charlie Parrish says, I know it perhaps won't count for loads if his Tottenham aren't very good, but Thomas Frank's character and decency does feel quite important, nice, reassuring to me. Having someone like this as the face of your football club is such a grubby business. In so many ways, is cool.
Yeah, I do think his demeanour and how he carries himself will help him a lot in this job, especially replacing Ange, and will help him in the dressing room.
Yeah, but ultimately, you can have that demeanour for so long. It's always ultimately end up going to come to results, isn't it? And people will find a way to criticise you in the press and everything. Because like when Ange first came here, we loved him in the press. We absolutely adored him in the press. And, even as time progressed, I still was enjoying his press conferences and stuff. But ultimately, it was results that got people turning against him. Like, if he was still winning and, he was fighting for us at the top of the league, top 4, top 5, whatever, people would have carried on loving his press conferences. It was the results that turned people against him.
It's true.
Anna says, good luck, Thomas Frank. 18 months on the clock. Your time starts now.
That's how it feels like all new managers.
Jacko Cat says, this is why I think Thomas Frank at Tottenham will be a success. A thread. Frank have one of my favourite characteristics as a manager. He's tactically incredibly smart and have the ability to change the shape of his team based on the opposition and the qualities of his players. That will instantly make us very tough to beat. In his first job in England, Frank was immediately able to transform a below-average championship team like Brentford into a team that made the playoff finals 2 times in a row, achieving promotion the second time. How did he do that? But how he did that. In the championship, he played most of the time with a fluid 4-3-3, but in the end, he switched to a 3-4-1-2. In the Premier League, he used both systems. The transition from one formation to another is always smooth, making his side a nightmare to play against tactically. His principles are very clear: direct and vertical football offensively, and high press and compact defensively. It's hardcore football. As soon as you get the ball, the first thought is how to exploit the back line, a style very similar to what Klopp did in Liverpool. It's a much more pragmatic approach, but a style that is always able to produce a lot of goals and attacking patterns. They scored 66 goals last season. Absolutely not a defensive coach, even if he's very different from Postecoglou. His teams have a very interesting set-piece routine. His staff put a lot of attention towards that situation, finding a lot of great solutions. Here is a thread about Brentford's corner routine, and a thread in a thread. And then he says, I'm very excited to see a very high tempo and direct style of play at Tottenham. In my opinion, that's the most sustainable style for us. I fully expect huge improvements in terms of consistency, especially compared to what we did with Ange in the league. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think obviously those are a lot of things people are pointing to in terms of why we might be a lot better off with Frank than Ange. And look, those are a lot of good arguments, I would say.
Black_COYS says, in ideal world, my lineup with Thomas Frank, Vicario, Porro, Branthwaite, Van de Ven, Udogie. Well, first of all, Branthwaite's a left-side centre-back, so I doubt we're going to sign Branthwaite to replace Romero. Paulinho, Homeland, Bergvall, Madison, Eze, Mbuemo, Solanke. I mean, there is no chance. I just can't see a world where we sign Mbuemo and Eze. I just can't see it.
I'd love that team, but I think it's more of a pipe dream.
Yeah.
I would love it, though. Keep dreaming.
Will says, welcome. Let's fucking go, Thomas the Tank. Oh, Thomas the Frank Engine.
Thomas the Frank Engine.
Chew, bloody chew. Let's fucking go. Come on.
Come on.
Jules says, Frank era has officially started, and he's got pictures of Semenyo, Tell, Branthwaite, and Mbuemo. Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see Tell under Frank. I think that he can get Tell scoring consistently. And, you know, I just wasn't moved by bringing Matisse Tell back under Ange Postecoglou. But I think Frank can get a tune out of him fairly quickly.
What's interesting is we did a loan watch. Spurs did one, and they included Tell. Is that a sign?
Spurs did a loan watch?
On their official account.
Right.
A loan report.
What they
sorry, not a
reported-
loan. Sorry. International report.
Oh, they included Tell.
And they included Tell. Is that a sign?
I think it is a sign, to be honest. It's not for like Spurs to give away stuff, but I mean, that's a fairly big giveaway, isn't it? His loan's supposed to be over, and also we announced that we're sending Timo Werner back, but we never announced we're sending Tell back. I think this deal, I think it's done.
I think it's done.
Not done, but I think, you know, they fully expect him to be here next season. That's it. That's all we've got